Thank you for everyone being here, but especially to Charles and Sport England, is that 18 months ago when we had this tragedy of the old part of the club, this is the new part, if you can believe it, 1974, but the old part of the club that we love dearly, of the bar that we can't get into anymore, because we fall through the floor, having a wooden cladded room probably doesn't really suit fire conditions in some ways. Is that when I got phoned up, told that morning that a fire was happening, is that I thought that the whole club had been devastated. He's actually put the heart back into the club. So thank you, Charles, thank you, Sports England, for the grant of £1 million. Without that, we would not be able to dream at all of what we plan to do with this club. I first came down to this club in 1976. The old part of the club was cladded with green tin and stayed like that for many, many years. The training facilities weren't ideal. That we used to do our weights in this room. There are a few holes underneath this floor that you can see now that I put in there personally of dropping weights, which the hierarchy of the club at that time were very distraught about, and I'll be exactly the same with our young athletes if they drop and knock holes in the floor of the new building once it's finished. The changing rooms were certainly not in this century, probably weren't in the century before either. So the new club is going to really have a very different look and feel, but the heart is going to be exactly the same. It's about of serving the community and having people that enjoying not just rowing but the other water sports as well. I think that's really sort of the big change in some ways. We've heard a little bit about Marlow Canoe Club, the Longridge, about High Wycombe Triathlon and Henley Open Water Club, all coming together under one roof, giving some facilities that really can grow each one of those sports. Of course, we see as Marlow Rowing Club still being the mainstay of that and producing of athletes at the community level, domestic level, international level, and hopefully to the highest level of Olympics and Paralympics. When my wife was captain in the late 80s and early 90s, is that adaptives were introduced to the club at this time through WAMSAD, who are now called Sport Able, and they were here for a number of years. So we were one of the first clubs to actually have of paras involved with the club. It was always very unusual at that time, and coming down here training. And normally at rowing clubs, people are out on the water and you've got training shoes on the landing stage, as the athletes have their own shoes in the boat that are attached. It's really odd when you come down and there's a leg or an arm on the landing stage. You think, God, what's happened here? It's a bit crazy. So it's going to be fantastic to have the disability start being attached back to Marlow Rowing Club, and a big future from that point of view. Is that what's it mean for all these clubs? Yes, it's going to be able to grow the base, be able to have more people involved, and involvement from of enjoying all those water sports. Is that one of the things that Marlow has always had is a very good club atmosphere. Is that we enjoy being out in the water and having fun out there, but there was also a very good social life as well. And that Marlow has always had a single sculling mentality when I was here in the 70s and 80s, and that sort of mixed into the crew boats that we have now. The success that we've been getting at the club in recent years has been fantastic, and we just want to see that to grow to higher and stronger levels. Is that we've had a lot of support along the way, and I would like to thank the Home Secretary, Theresa May, for all the support that she's been giving the club. It's quite an unusual situation in some ways, because Marlow Rowing Club is not in Buckinghamshire, it's in Berkshire, and Maidenhead Rowing Club is not in Berkshire, it's in Buckinghamshire. We're on the wrong side of the river serving our communities, but both clubs are fantastic ambassadors for the area. And Theresa, thank you very much for your support over the last few years, and especially the last 18 months. You've been very, very supportive indeed. To our town mayor, that has been extremely supportive of the plight that we've been in the last 18 months, to both councils, to Wickham District and to Maidenhead. Without them coming together and helping us in this path, we wouldn't be in this situation of the celebration today. But also to the Marlow community, is that every part of the community has got behind and given their support, some financial, some material side of support as well. So we're very, very grateful for that. But I'd also like to mention to the members of Marlow Rowing Club of how they've conducted themselves with dignity over the last 18 months. Is that it could have gone pear-shaped big time. Is that the insurance for the old building didn't really cover the value to be able to rebuild. And so we had to support on those members still paying their club membership, and with some of the schemes that we've got running to put even more money in beyond their membership to be able to top up the fund to make sure that we get the completion of them. This is a great day of celebrating the £1 million from the lottery, to be able to say, yes, we can go ahead with this project. We have a clear vision. We know where we're going to go from this point of view. But over the next year, 14 months, it is still not going to be easy. In fact, it could be quite harder, because after the fire, within days, we were competing at Maidenhead Regatta and performing at a very high level. But we can still use the club. We were still able to boat from the landing stage, even though half the fleet had been destroyed. Is that we have to move off site completely. It's going to be really challenging from that point of view, and there's going to be lots of issues. So from the membership point of view, we still need your patience and support over this year of coming. What we're going to have is going to be very, very special indeed. As President, I would like to thank the committee who have worked incredibly hard. I made a little bit joke of downstairs of doing the interviews, is that I'm pleased that we're on email and not paper anymore, because that we would lose quite a lot of our trees, the amount of paperwork that's been going around in the last 18 months. But the committee have worked tirelessly to get where we are, a huge amount of work behind the scenes. So from my point of view, thank you very much to the committee, especially to Ed, our secretary, and Peter, our chairman. Is that the amount of work and dedication that they've put in has been absolutely incredible, and we needed their leadership. So it's a fantastic place to be at the moment. It's going to be even better in a year's time when we'll be close to opening the club. And this is a fantastic day for Marlow, the community, and water sports in general, with rowing at the top of that list. even though I tend to paddle in a canoe more than I get out in a boat nowadays. Roger will disagree with that. We've only been out 3 times this year. But no, I think there's certainly good days ahead of us as a community and as a club. I can't wait till the new premises are open. So thank you much, all of you, for coming along and supporting this very special day for us. And while you enjoy the tea and the cakes and the sandwiches that are here, but as you go, just take a little bit of the old club away with you, because I want to see this club down and the new one coming up very soon. Thank you.